you. In this presentation, I would like to talk about test automation using the KNIME Data. I will try to keep it a bit shorter because we are behind time. Yes, so let's talk a bit about different types of testing. There are so many types, I think, I'm almost sure not even test automation and engineers cannot keep it up within the lowest one. There are integration testing, alpha testing, monkey testing, smart monkey testing, dumb monkey testing. Let's just call it the blue monkey testing. Oh no, that's already taken. So, company blue monkey testing. You can try to be a bit more conservative. Let's call it regression testing. There are many advantages and disadvantages of the regression testing. It helps you detect bugs, it helps you maintain quality code and maintain the data quality. It gives you a lot of security and stability. And by maintaining good data, it gives you good customer satisfaction. Of course, there are disadvantages of it. It's a bit more time consuming than the other ones, and resource intensive. And the other topic why we are choosing regression testing in this case is because it completely aligns with KNIME's new line that they are trying to move everything to be more CI/CD compliant. That is CI/CD. I don't want to take it too long because developers are developing the code, putting it the code to test environment, and into production, and usually this is kind of a linear process. But it's CI/CD. You can take it in a loop, and this is the case why it is called CI/CD. It's continuous improvement and continuous deployment. With regression testing, you can take this whole process into a loop. Regression testing has some prerequisites. It requires defined test cases, it requires a folder structure, we will talk about it later, and it requires workflow and process test. It requires also documentation. I would like to stop it here just for a minute. I'm curious about what do you think. The last year, when you guys working even as a developer or a manager, and you got one type of test. And I want you to raise your hand. If in the last year you ran into a task where everything was documented, everything was documented well, you didn't have to chase at least 3 people who's on holiday and different types of tests. So I would like to ask to raise your hands if you ran into this type of document. Yeah, so yeah, kind of to be expected. So I thought of okay. So instead of documentation, let's call it knowledge. We need knowledge from you or from anybody. For regression testing, you need test cases. You have to predefine what you want to test. You have to define test case for there changes for every type of workflow. Depends on what you want to develop. Depends what you want to test. For example, if you have multiple inputs or are they CSVs, you can test, for example, if it has to go on the delimiter, if it has typo in file name, or the file is completely missing. After you set up the test cases, you need to build up the folder structure for the testing. You build up as many test cases as much you need. Each test case needs an input folder where you build up the input files. In each case, for example, when there's a missing file, then you need to take care of each input folder separately. You need an output folder. Your workflow will put your outputs here, and you need to put a compare folder where you can set up the expected outputs that you want to see when the workflow runs perfectly. Just a second. It's quite hot here. So, let's jump to the test flow. So, for regression testing, as I said, for example, with this workflow, which will be available on the data channel. You can use it freely for your projects or as you wish. For later, if you have any improvement ideas or anything, that's more than welcome. So for regression testing, it is kind of mimicking the manual testing, but you are completely automatizing it. So where do you start when you are testing your workflow or your output? First, you need to check if the files that you are producing, it is in both of the folders. Your real output folder and to compare folder, the expected folder. After that, so you can look through all of the test case folders and checking and comparing your real output and your expected output. After that, the workflow is kind of merging this type of information. And for the first test case, it gives you the results. For example, in this case, there's an unexpected output file. It means there's a new file that shouldn't be there, but your workflow created it. After that, you need to move forward with the files. They are existing in both folders because you don't want to check or waste resource to check files which is completely wrong or you don't need it. After that, when the workflow is check both of the folders, it looks through all of the files, all of the inputs and all of the outputs. It gives you the result. For example, in this case, with the execution law, it perfectly aligns. It's the same. The error is the same, so it works perfectly. An important part in this workflow is this comparing table component, which is currently comparing tabular data, tabular files. By comparing it row, checking if the file is completely the same, all of the cells are same. Currently, it is working with tabular data, but the good thing with this is that you can use it for images, for pharmaceutical data, for binary data, any type of thing you can compare. You can just use it for that. After you are checking the files, you can look through all of the test cases. For example, in this workflow, you will see there are 100 test cases. All of them are different setups. As I mentioned, for example, input files was missing or something like that. after looking through all of the test cases, it gives you a sheet. Then all of the test cases, it lists all of the differences, all of the errors, all of the noise that it does. After that, it collects all the results, and yes. So after collecting the results, it will give you an output. You can, in this output, you can set up, for example, an email alert if everything went well. And another good thing with this is where I mentioned that KNIME trying to move forward to the CI/CD. There are a group of nodes, workflow invocation nodes, which allows you to call different workflow from your other workflow. You can simply just put call workflow node and setting up which workflow we want to call, and the calling workflow, it will be your real workflow that you want to test. And this is a great thing because with this method, you will get these results. It will give you the output. You can see here the grades are not executed. It wasn't a great workflow. It was really in the early phase of the development. Only one test case went through. But you will get a really good picture of how you work. And this was just half automated because you have to run all of the test flows, all of your workflows manually. But with KNIME Hub, you can set up triggers. For example, you can set up triggers when there's a new version of the workflow is uploaded. Then the trigger will run this test flow. And you can completely automate your development, the testing of your development. Yes, so that was the presentation, and I don't know if you have questions. I think I will.
Thank you. Actually, regarding the test, I'm just wondering, is there any way, because I've never seen, this is the first time I've seen proper testing in KNIME, so, well, so how do you do it in a reusable way? So what I mean is, for my work, for example, let's say I do some development in KNIME, some other tool, it takes me 3 days, then I test in 2 weeks. So it's really difficult for me to test usually. And I wonder if is there a way to, let's say you have a meta node or a component, whatever, either on your node or you just use it from someone else, and you don't want to understand the whole thing, you don't necessarily have to, but rather you want to make sure it has the right functionality. Is there a way to, and I don't know the answer to this, is there a way to just test it before you use it and just implement it?
I think what you are asking is rather manual testing, because this type of automation is rather when your code is already in production, for example. Let's say you have complete processes which is running every day, which is already in production, and somebody puts a new version, then, or not even necessary to have a new version. With a trigger, you can set up to start the test workflow when there are new files in your output. So every time, for example, every month when your workflow was running, you can test it. And I think what you are asking is rather the manual one. But if you are working with, for example, EUC emulation, like kind of people, it is end-user computing emulation. It is eliminating manual work with the data, then you can set up these type of test cases, and you can run the two protests parallelly, like a transition method. And if you have a report maker, for example, then they can put their already tested or their well-known output into the compare folder, and your workflow will recreate the output in the output folder. So it is kind of real-time testing with the manually creating data. I don't know if you can explain the question more.
So to explain, if I understood right, that you have workflow, does something, put something in the output folder, a bunch of files maybe, and the testing would tell you whether those files are there, do they have the right name, maybe the right structure, maybe the right content.
You need to